What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. And today we'll be looking at season 7 premiere of The Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 1. I'm so excited. This is my favorite franchise, so I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Please help the channel. Let's get into the video.
Yeah, let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, want it, securing the bag.
All right. So the episode starts off with Giselle and Karen meeting up at the picnic, basically having like a little outing with all the girls that potentially shows up. Ashley comes and she basically talked about her divorce that dropped. I feel like we all have seen throughout social media that she announced that she was getting divorced from creepy old Michael Darby. And I mean, for me, it felt like this was going to happen because from season 4 to 5, and then I think she teased it in last season with season 6 where he had another infidelity with a lady at the MGM, and he got caught in the bed, you know, doing what he had to do, slipping and dipping in some okay. So it's just like one of those things where it's just like, I mean, girl, more power to you. Ashley has been flourishing. She's been looking amazing, and you know, she'll be all over TikTok just doing her dances. So I'm just like, girl, do what you gotta do. I'm not even mad at it. Robin shows up as well, and you know, Robin is always gonna be the chill sidekick girl. So I feel like she's definitely like the Cynthia Bailey of the group. Robin has always been one of my favorites, but I definitely, for me, it's like definitely Robin and Candace for my top 2 favorite spots. I love those two. And I also want to shout out Giselle, Karen, Robin, Ashley for being one of, these are the longest running housewives, I think, next to Melissa, maybe Melissa Gorga and Candy Burris. But I feel like even then, Ashley, Giselle, Karen, and Robin started from season 1, where Candy and Melissa Gorga started from season 2. So I feel like with Potomac, we have to give them I feel like the reason why this franchise works is because the core cast and the core members of this group is still here, and they're still going, they're still active members of this cast, and I feel like that's why Potomac works, and which is why Potomac is number 1. So the girls talk about Mia's health, and they're just like confused on like, okay, so is she sick? Does she have cancer? What is the situation? Because she edited her post, but now everything's cool. I remember seeing that. So the whole post came up like towards the end of the reunion, and you know, Mia was going through all the bullshit. Mia had the rockiest season 1. I felt like Mia was very dynamic. I wouldn't say I liked Mia on her season 1 back in season 6, but I definitely thought she was interesting, and I didn't hate her. But I definitely thought she was definitely doing this for like trying to solidify her spot for season 7, because I felt like this just came out of nowhere and was very much random. I'm just like, okay, so now she has cancer, and then it flipped over to like, okay, she doesn't have cancer, and then okay, maybe she has cancer. We don't know. It was just so much stuff going on that we had a question where I was just like, whatever happens, I just send my prayers and loves to her, because I don't even know, girl. So everybody's talking, and like I said, I think it's for her storyline. Karen doesn't think that Mia's lying, but she's like, you know, I wouldn't necessarily went to social media about something so personal, but you know, maybe that's just her way of coping and just trying to get it out. Ashley talks about that she's moving in a different direction with Michael. You know, she wants monogamy, he still wants threesomes, and she's just like, hell no, like, I'm not doing that. I'm not even drinking right now. I just feel like we're moving in 2 different directions. To be honest, for me, I think Ashley's trying to do this because she's trying to solidify like this money. She's trying to get as much as she can out of Michael to show Michael like, look, this is what I want, and if you're not gonna be on board, then we're gonna go in this direction. Like, they're already buying a house, they're putting the house in the LLC, which a lot of people with money actually do that, because a lot of people do put that in their LLC, or put the house in the LLC. A lot of people do that. She also talks about like, she like, yeah, you know, I feel like it would be really good for me and Michael to go look for a house and this and third. So all the girls were like, okay, if you're separating and getting divorced, why do you want to buy a house with Michael? She's like, oh, you know, it takes a year for us to separate and get divorced, but you know, and Giselle's like, so you're getting divorced? She's like, yeah, we're on the road to doing that, but you know, Ashley gets caught up at the end, because they ask her at the end, like, so you're getting divorced, and she's talking about, no, I never said it, we're separating. babes, you actually did say that. So now you're lying. So time. You don't know how much time is in between this, but yeah, they got you. They got you. They get you. They're gonna got him. Okay. Robin talks about like, why would I buy a house of Juan when I'm not even married? Like, if we're getting divorced, that doesn't make any sense. But I'm like, Robin, how you gonna sit here and talk about her when you got divorced from Juan and y'all stayed in the house that y'all were staying in? So how, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you being a hypocrite right now, Robin. Like, how you gonna sit here and say like, oh, I wouldn't do that when you actually did that, Miss Robin? But the only reason why I'm gonna give Robin a pass is because season 1 and season 2 Ashley really towed Robin up every chance she got. So to be honest, this is Robin's get back. So Robin, if you want to tear her head off and blow her spot all the way up, I'm not mad at you. Do what you gotta do. But we know Robin's not that girl. So yeah. We transfer over and we see Candace basically going to her IVF appointment, and she's 35 right now, so she's definitely wanting to have kids, but she's doing so much with going on tour, and her album's doing really good. I downloaded her album. Her album's great. And the doctor is just like, we can't miss appointments. We have to make sure everything's going to be good. And she's like, yeah, I totally agree. But my husband, he has such a busy work schedule. It's so up and down. But I'm just thinking like, Candace, I get that you over here hammering on Chris about his schedule, but babes, you're out of town going on tour, doing this, doing that, jump flip, back flip, this studio. Like, how you gonna sit up here and talk about his schedule when yours is damn near confusing too? I'm just saying, I get it. Like, more than I do because, girl, you're living with this man. But they get into the car, and mind you, they're over here. They were discussing this whole situation, having I wouldn't say an argument, but they're having a debate back and forth in front of the doctor, and the doctor's sitting there just like, why am I here? But they get into the car, and then they have a even more disagreement. Like, he's talking to her like, okay, you keep talking about my schedule, but like, if this is the world we're going down, then we're gonna get it done. She just like, you need to stop cussing me. Just going back and forth, and I'm just like, there were so many different cues that they could have diffused the situation, but you can tell that neither one of them wanted to lose the argument, and they just had to ride in the car in silence, child. It's really foreshadowing a lot. Like I said, Candace is my favorite. I love Candace, but I mean, Candace, I feel like you did start that, girl. I'm sorry. I did think you start that, but I do see where you're coming from because you do need some type of stability, but it is what it is. Robin goes out to lunch in the next scene with Charisse. Charisse, we all know Charisse. She basically brought the girls together in season 1, and she was like I guess you could say, anchor of the show. But she got the divorce in season 1, and that she been knowing Robin the longest, since 2002. 2002, that's not better. So she been knowing Robin since 2002, and like I said, I wasn't a fan of Charisse. She was okay in season 1 and season 2. Season 3 is where she started annoying me because she came at Candace for no reason, called her little girl, and over here starting this beef for no reason with Candace. And then the whole plotation that she had with Monique in season 5, I was not here for it, and I was totally over the whole situation with Charisse, and I was happy that she exit stage left. But we'll see what happens with she coming back this year. We have 2 new friends of the show, which is Charisse and which is Jacqueline, which is Mia friend. All this drama is coming out on social media now that they basically are not friends anymore, but quote unquote they were best friends. So I'm just like, okay, that's funny how that happened. Robin talks about, I've been engaged. She's been engaged for damn near a year and a half, and this is her second time marrying the same man. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, y'all could easily went down to the courthouse and got your paperwork and did what you had to do, and you would have been married. I don't see Robin as that gaudy like type of girl that wants some big wedding. I feel like she just want to be married to this man, which is like, if that's what you want to do, just go ahead and go down to the courthouse. It's really, really simple. But she talked about, being that I'm the breadwinner and I'm making a lot of money, I want a prenup. And Charisse is like, you want a prenup, but like, did you have a prenup in your first marriage with Juan? And she's like, yeah, I signed a prenup, and because I feel like I didn't deserve to get half of his money. And she said, I feel like he don't deserve to get half of my money. So Charisse basically put herself in the equation, even though it wasn't about her. Robin was basically talking about herself, like, this is how I feel about my situation. But she was just like, so you feel like I didn't deserve half of basically her husband's money? And Robin was like, "No, I don't." And now, even though Sharice didn't get mad, but she was just like, "What? Are you crazy?" Like, I did deserve, even though me personally, I do feel like housewives and women that stay home and take care of the kids and all that with successful husbands or partners, I do feel like they deserve half of the money. But I also do agree that if you have a prenup, you need to respect the prenup, period. Because when I get married, I would have a prenup. I don't care if I'm rich. I don't care if I'm in the middle. I would still have a prenup just because that's just what I want to do. And I've seen so many different divorces within both my parents that I don't have the time to be doing with the bullshit. We see Mia, and Mia finally is living in Potomac. I feel like she's one of two out of this whole cast that actually lives in Potomac, because regardless, not that many people live in Potomac. They either live in Maryland or live in Virginia. I think Ashley lives in Virginia. Everybody else lives in Maryland. So I'm just like, but you know, they want to say, "Oh my God, Potomac." So Mia's she moved to Potomac and she's basically renting her house, and like the whole family comes over. They have like a family gathering, and Mia talks to her mother about, you know, her biopsy exam, and she was like, "You know, everything's going well. You know, we're still going through the process, just trying to make sure that it's not anything scary, but you know, we're just going through the tissue to make sure everything's good." Karen and Race shows up, and Karen got her boobs done, and Ray's just like, "I don't see the reason why she got her boobs done. Like, she didn't need any cosmetic surgery." And Karen's just like, "You know, I wanted to get this done for me. I wanted my boobs to sit up." And I'm just like, I mean, her boobs look nice. Karen feels like that Ray thinks that she want to get it done for someone else's attention instead of his. I do too. I feel like Karen, like, she is almost 60 years old, but I can barely tell. She looks like she's in her 40s. She looks bomb, and I mean, she's at the peak of her life at this moment, being on TV, making money, a beautiful, gorgeous woman. So I mean, any man would have her, literally. And Karen pulls Mia to the side, and she just told her, like, you know, you need to be careful with the whole social media situation, because it's coming off that I don't know the intention that you want to come off of. People in this group, basically me and the other girls, are basically going to talk about everything that's going on, and you want to make sure that you're not the topic of conversation in a negative way. Mia's just like, "You know, I got it. I understand." Mia, I don't think you actually do understand, because it did look sketchy as hell. And I feel like with Mia, I don't feel like it was attention seeking. I feel like she put it out for a reason, for story purposes. I feel like maybe she got with one of the producers and was just like, "Hey, you know, I'm actually going through this, but how can I do this in my favor?" Boom, storyline. There you go. Wendy meets with Peter down in Maryland. And they basically talking about creating a Nigerian lounge. I think that actually sounds dope. Incorporating Nigerian culture into like a nightlife lounge, it can make a lot of money. Peter's going over all the numbers and stuff. And all I'm thinking throughout this whole entire time, because I live in North Carolina, so I actually been to Bar One in Charlotte. And it was nice. I mean, the whole vibe was nice, but when you look at stuff that you hear online, like, Peter gives me a scammer. I'm sorry, he gives me a motherfucking scammer. I don't trust shit that Peter says. He don't pay his staff. His staff has been on TikTok running him through the mud. And I'm just like, Wendy, be careful, because he already talked about wanting 20%. So if you make $1 million, 20% of that is $200,000, which you won't get a return, he said, within 18 to 22 months, but he will still get his 20%. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to get an investor, think about all of that. And being that your husband's a lawyer, please let him look over the paperwork, because this just sounds like a setup waiting to happen. Okay. Ashley goes over to her mom's house, and I think her uncle was there, and they're just confused on, like, okay, so if you're getting a divorce from Michael, then why the hell are you still conversing with him? You're still trying to have a house with him, put it in an LLC, and you haven't even seek legal counsel. That doesn't even make sense. Ashley's getting flustered. She's just like, at the end of the day, I'm doing what I gotta do, how I want to do it, and you know, you can't really judge it on how I'm trying to go through the situation. And, you know, to be honest, I actually agree with her, because she recently just announced that she's getting divorced. So, I mean, you can't just expect her just to magically have all the answers. So, but I do see why they're skeptical, because Michael is just ick. Okay. he might be ick, but Michael didn't make his money and his millions from being dumb. So yeah. So we're at Giselle's, and her kids are basically trying to help her pick her outfit. And regardless of the fact Giselle's gonna always look a hot ass mess, I feel like that's her brand. And I feel like this might be the first year that Giselle actually has a storyline with her kids potentially leaving, and she becoming an empty nester, because her oldest daughter is a senior in high school. Her youngest two, I believe that they are juniors. So now they about to be gone, and she about to be alone. So she about to be in that house. She renovated her house, and her house looks like decent. It's not something I would buy. I'm not even trying to throw shade. Her house is nice, but you know Giselle. Let's fast forward to Karen's events, the spring into spring event. And Karen event space looks really nice, looks really beautiful. A lot of flowers, everything looks really fresh. It's an open theme, hardwood floors, grass. They have like a lot of faux grass on the walls, and all the table settings look really nice. Something that I would design. Yeah, something I would do. But it started raining, and it kind of killed the mood towards the beginning, but nobody was really there, so I mean, it didn't affect anything. Karen and Giselle talk about Ashley. They're like, I think Ashley's lying. I feel like she doesn't want to get a divorce. I feel like there's an ulterior motive of why she's doing what she's doing. And I agree with Karen when she talks about ulterior motive. I do feel like there is one. Ashley comes in, and she's just like, I found a house with Michael. And before I go there, Ashley looks amazing. I feel like this whole transformation, she's looking like a bombshell. I'm like, go ahead, girl. Okay. But she's talking about, we found a house in Arlington, which I used to live in Arlington, close Woodbridge. If you ever went to Potomac in high school, I went there for a couple months. But they put the house in the LLC, and Karen and Giselle just feel like, okay, girl, this is not a divorce. You're lying. And slowly but surely, everybody starts showing up. And Candace shows up, and she's like, I heard about the divorce, and I'm so happy she's going to be away from nasty Michael. And I mean, I concur. Wendy shows up with her husband Eddie, and she says hello to everyone, and then she sees Giselle, and she's just like, oh, let me go say hello to Giselle. So she goes to hug Giselle, and Giselle's like, no touching, no thank you, no, just being dramatic. But weird as it may, because I can't stand Giselle, I actually agree with Giselle. Like, they were bitter enemies last season, so why even Wendy could have easily just gave out a dry hello and could have left and went about her business. But it was kind of fake to like try to hug her and just try to be cordial and try to be nice when you know that you dogged this girl out the whole last season. So just like, you should have just kept that energy and just been cordial and just said hey, and just kept it pushing, because you don't like her, she don't like you, so there's no point for y'all to even hug and have any type of interaction. Like, but that's how they do on Housewives. But I actually agree with Giselle on that front. Mia arrives, and the music starts getting dramatic, and Giselle greets her at the door. She said,
this is what no cancer looks like? What does this look like? Is this cancer or no cancer?
And I'm like, who the fuck says shit like that? Like, even though I do feel like Mia is kind of capping on the situation and just exaggerating a little bit, but still, regardless, let's say she was telling the truth. Like, who says shit like that? Because if Mia would have slapped the shit out of Giselle, then she would have been wrong, right? No, because you can't really play around with a situation like that. I would give Mia grace, because I'm not in her body, and I, Lord forbid, don't have cancer. But if she does have lymphoma, then like, you just said some foul ass shit, and it could have been me. Mia tells the girls, like, y'all over here trying to criticize me, try to judge me, and try to pick and prod all the stuff I'm saying, but my doctor's saying I might have lymphoma, and like my test results this and the third, so you want to come for me and talk about my stuff
like hella, okay? So for you to sit there and say that you think I was doing it for attention, I didn't you.
And that was the end of the episode. It's to be continued. This episode was an A. I feel like it's a great way to get introduced to all the ladies. I like the fact that the two friends were introduced within the first episode, so we got to know everybody that's going to be a part of the show. And yeah, I'm excited for the show. Mia came out and talked about the whole wine toss with Wendy, and she basically apologized, said she regretted it, and Wendy did not accept her apology. I wouldn't either, because I feel like there was like fists to cuffs, because I heard that Wendy got hit with a pocketbook 3 times. Child, I don't know the situation, but if the rumors are true, like, I'm on Team Wendy's side all the way, regardless of the fact, like, because if we're going to condemn Monique and Candace, then we need to condemn Mia. And if we're going to go off and try to condemn Candace for throwing some lettuce, then Mia need to get it too. Because now I'm not going to be over here. I don't got time for the cyberbullying. I'm not about to go like, oh my God. No, but I'm just going to say what it is. Like, Mia, if that, I had to see how it transpired. But right now, Mia's in the wrong. So that's just how I see it. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have really helped my platform grow, and I'm just so shocked of how I have so much support. So just keep it going. I'm just gonna talk my talk, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, y'all. Peace.